Hey Axis and Allies players, this is the Good Captain, and this will be, I guess this is my post G2 video, but I'm going to take a moment to sort of crunch the numbers on round one. The Japanese commentary video kind of went over, or I feel like should have proved, or at least makes the argument that the J1 is this is a repeatable sort of maneuver out here in the Pacific. But the G1 could have gone a little bit better for the Axis. But Piloto managed attempted an attack out of Yunnan into Hupei, and both of us had a 66% chance of inflicting a single loss on each other. He missed and I didn't, so that was fortuitous for the Japanese. So that very much puts things right, I'd say right down the middle in terms of unit losses, expectations, dice rolls, everything. So that's my opinion, of course, but I didn't arrive at it cheaply. So the end... Corporal Clegg, at the end of this round, was nice enough to send us a casualties report, and essentially, this is going to look awful, but the Allies lost 164 IPCs worth of units, and the Axis lost 71 IPCs in round one. So at first glance, it looks like the Axis really pulled away, but the Axis start with 579 IPCs worth of equipment, and the Allies 558. And in the first round, the Axis only can replenish 58 IPCs worth of losses, and the Allies can only replenish probably 919 IPCs worth of losses. So the net Axis loss was negative 13, and the net Allied loss was negative 45, which readjusts the amount of equipment or unit count, unit IPC value on the board to these numbers. And it might look like the Axis are still up, but we haven't gone into round two yet. And in round two, the Allies have a potential, or will have 101 IPCs to the Axis 79. That all makes sense to me, what I just did there. And if anybody ever watches this video, understand that the primary reason I made this video was for me, and if my opponents care to know how I think after each round, then they can watch it too. But clearly I'm okay to go there with the numbers. It's just, I enjoy the strategy and the tactics part of it for sure, but I think having a healthy understanding of the economy is paramount to developing strategies, especially the way I like to play. I'll just throw this out there right now. I really don't like to just go for a jugular. I'm not trying to knock Moscow out of the game. I'm trying to strangle the Allies, and if it takes more than 10 rounds to do that, then so be it. I like to play the economic game. I don't like to take risks unless I have to or feel that I'm forced to, and keeping my fingers on the pulse of the economy is how, really more than anything else, what dictates my actions. So I still have a point gap to close as the Axis player. Again, we are only pulling 79 IPCs out of this board, and the Allies are pulling 101. That is a losing hand, and it needs to be changed. We need to hit economic parity at the end of this turn, and that's what dictates what I do with my Germany turn. I only went into Karelia with a 33% chance of not taking it, frankly. I sent 3 fighters and an infantry in there, and if I lost the infantry, then I didn't get it. I wouldn't take it. Why did I do that? Because there is such a poverty of infantries on the Eastern Front up here that I felt that not only is it necessary, but vital to my long-range plans. Again, I'm trying to fight a very long war here, and it's clear by from the US turn that they're going for a Germany first strategy. They placed their bombers in England, built a large navy off the East Coast. This is totally competitive. No critical thoughts on that. And that means Germany needs to have infantries to help defend it also needs to build tanks to maintain the pressure on Russia. Russia needs to feel that she's being pressured, or else she might buy, Corporal Clegg might buy more offensive unit pieces, and we don't want Russia doing that. So I'm already sort of in the back of my mind turtling with Germany. I'm trying to bring up more infantries into the vital areas, and I don't want to engage in a battle that sees the loss of a mass amount of pieces. I'm thinking force preservation. I want to hold out here as long as I can, inflict casualties where I can, and otherwise be a bug light for British, American, and Russian troops. And the Italians are here to help me out. I'm going to make full use of the Italians, their ability to do can openers, or otherwise help me defend in certain areas of the board, as they're doing right now in the Ukraine. The Japanese are the ones who are going to have to shore up the IPC differential, and I really need about 10 IPCs from the Allies this turn to make that happen. I'm not going to include this that I took from Russia. I'm not going to include that because it will just be taken back, and in fact so will East Poland, so I'll be down an IPC at this point compared to the end of last turn. The Italians will likely take one, maybe two, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, what happens with Russia and Britain's turn. But the Japanese will need to explode forth yet again, one more turn. I'm hoping I can take one more IPC up here, 2 IPCs in China, 3 IPCs out of India, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to get the rest. Maybe 2 from the Philippines or 2 from Australia, but probably not both. I could take Madagascar, I could take New Guinea. There's a lot of options, and it's going to take the Russian player to see or the Russians' turn to see what options are truly available to me. So that's my thoughts going into it. My objective for this round is to not engage in any major confrontations, to try to improve the Axis IPC value by 10, and then I can go into, well, I'll do that. I'll speak to what I like to turn into after I'll do it now. After this turn, I'm hoping that we have achieved economic parity, as in we're making just as much as our opponents, and then I like to just not worry about winning. Like I said, don't worry about taking Russia, don't worry about quote-unquote winning the game. I like to just start looking for areas on the board where I can destroy Axis or Allied units, or seize Allied territories, one or both of those, but otherwise preserving my own force and waiting and watching for my enemy to hopefully make a mistake. And the trick is to not make any myself. So that's where the funnest part of the game for me lies, and I'm looking forward to doing some work in round 2 here, but round 3, 4, 5, and on to the end of the game are, for me, my favorite part of an Axis and Allies game. So thanks for watching this. All the best from the good captain, and bye-bye.